G'day, how's it going? It is your mate Failbait coming at you with a deck guide, a deck demonstration here of what I think is probably my favorite Havencraft deck and probably one of the best Havencraft decks of this format and maybe even of last format. So we're looking at Tenko Shrine with Summit Temple and Heavenly Knight thrown in as an extra win condition. And of course we have the 2 copies of Father Punishment because big removal is necessary with so many Flame Destroyers, so many dragons, and of course some very big wards, Dale of Phil among them, as well as the 5/5 Robo-Me and Portalcraft. But as you'll see in this showcase in the next match, all of these cards I think will be justified. However, you could swap out that 2-cost Naus for Alexiel the Legendary. But as you can see on the right hand side, we won a pretty big win streak with this deck. About 10 wins, we breezed through the Grand Prix, and we won a whole bunch of ranked matches as well. So let's get into the deck demonstration where I'll show you the mulligan, as well as some important plays and how to kind of run the deck. Here we go. So we're coming up against Portalcraft here, a very popular craft this meta. And against Portalcraft, they can tend to be fast, so keeping Tenko Shrine is a bit of a risk, but I think in this matchup it's worth it. And definitely Blackened Scripture is used to kind of slow them down. We did get John, which isn't the best card to get early on, but it certainly has that value later on. Getting that Summit Temple, I don't play it turn 1 because you don't want it to block your board, and you know they do have puppets which can reduce your health of your minions very easily to make your minions very, very weak. That said, Snow White is great off the top for turn 2, and if they don't trade into it, playing the Summit Temple means we can potentially get, we can get the 2 for 1. So you can play Summit Temple here, Snow White can trade into both. So we do play that. I considered, maybe Blackened Scripture, the Automaton Soldier to keep our 2/2, but getting rid of the board here is really valuable, and keeping the Blackened Scripture maybe for the late game certainly has its uses. We don't want to play Father Punishment here, and we don't want to play Lorena. Both are really great Evo targets, especially when you consider Father Punishment can be used to evolve on turn 6 and play Tenko Shrine on that same turn to kind of have a very safe board. But this is an easy response for us. We do have Lorena, again, another great 2-for-1 target. But since there's only one minion on board and we do have Tenko Shrine, I opted to get the healing instead, again, for that potential turn 6 play. And so she trades pretty nicely there, and we still have, quite a few options. We have Serenian Hinds now in hand, so if you can play that on turn 6, if you play Tenko on 5. For the, the rush, we have so many options now, and they opt to go for silver. Now what I like about this deck is that we can mitigate the silver damage with cards like Dale of Phil in the deck, with cards like Lorena's Holy Water, and with cards like White Fang Temple, all of which kind of remove that advantage they have, reduce that snowball effect. So they don't play anything, which means I think we know what they have, most likely like a Basilius or something, so we just throw down even more amulets, which means they can't really interact with our board. We know they're holding a few puppets as well, so kind of just taking the most advantage here by playing amulets and by getting that healing means we can deal some face damage. And like I said, that silver ping is immediately mitigated, and now they're forced to play the big silver, which we do have an answer to, because like I said, we have the Serenian Hinds. This time we go for the Dark Hinds just to clear that, and we have the second Moriai to kind of make sure that anything big that comes down later we can still deal with. Alright, so again, we've mitigated the silver damage, we've dealt with one of their big minions thanks to Moriai's Inconium. We still have Father Punishment and a few Evos left to go if we need to activate it like that. So Locker Coco is pretty annoying here, gets rid of our big advantage, but they play the Automaton Knight, which I'm not sure is really that necessary because we can trade into it with the 1/3, which is pretty good for us. And then we can easily clear this board with Jean. We also could have used one of the Father Punishments there, but I figured, getting rid of that, maybe baiting out the big turn because we know they have Orcus, we know they have Noah. Using that as bait is really effective, because again, we kind of guessed they had a big hand. So here come the puppets now, which again, it's good for us, right? Forcing them to use their puppets on our big minions means they can't be using it to deal that storm damage with cards like Orcus and Noah. And there's the Basilius, like we anticipated, gets rid of both of these minions, but we do have the Moriai about to activate on our turn, so Basilius dies fairly easily. And we are in a pretty good advantage here, because we do have more healing, and we get the Heavenly Knight off the top, so that's 9 damage to the face. We don't have healing on board at the moment, so we can't deal that extra bit of damage, but again, we do have the White Fang in hand if we need to get rid of some stuff. We do have Jean and a few cheap minions to activate the healing activation, to get that Tenko working. But what have they got on turn 10? I think we're in a pretty good spot now. Heartless Battle. They opt for Lloyd, which is interesting. I mean, the Bane does mean it can kill it. Kukuro is pretty strong as well. They could... Ooh, they didn't evolve. I figured you could maybe reduce the attack of Heavenly Knight at the very least. You know, make it like a... Because Kukuro deals 7 damage when it evolves, so maybe putting it down to a 5-2 would have been pretty advantageous for them, because we had no healing. But as you can see there, the Father Punishment, very, very good way to get rid of big wards to allow our big Storm minions and our Tenko Shrines to just hit face. Really showing its worth in that matchup. But like I said, it does have that synergy on turn 6 with Tenko Shrine. So that's the deck. I think it works really strong in this meta. I think, you know, Father Punishment works well to remove the big threats like Flame Destroyer and Dragons. I think Tenko helps remove small threats like, you know, Kukuro, or, you know, if you come up against Forest Craft decks. And the Summit Temple Heavenly Knight combo is definitely that nice added win condition. And having recurrent healing in White Fang Temple and Dalefil really helps you in the aggro matchups. So that's what I think is probably the best Havencraft of this meta. If you have thoughts on any great Havencraft decks, please let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoy this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out. You can also find me on Twitch at twitch.failbaitsv, where I go through more deck demonstrations just like this. So until next time, keep smoking that face. Take it easy.